In this episode, I'm going to talk about why being deluded is starting to really get on my nerves. Play music, read books, travel, write, dream, scream. J.K. Rowling was rejected by about 13 publishers before her book was accepted. Are you J.K. Rowling? And is it the 1990s? Maybe I could make a picture of a spinning book and write a load of dialogue next to it, and then maybe people will buy my book. Have you ever saw a picture of a spinning book with a load of dialogue next to it and bought the book? Maybe I can go and sit in a library in front of a load of books and do a fake book signing and people will think it's real. Have you ever saw a picture of a man or a woman who you don't know signing a book and thought, I'm gonna buy that book? Maybe I can put my book in a really niche category on Amazon, and maybe I can buy about 50 copies and get it to #1 on Amazon. Have you ever looked up a really niche category in Amazon and looked for #1 and bought the book because of it? These are just a few examples of the many bad things I've seen writers do, including myself. I've done a few of these things, and I just think it does more harm than good. And after speaking to lots of great writers and journalists who struggle to sell books, I've become really interested in this topic. Lots of time is wasted through poor marketing strategies, which detract from quality writing. They look cheap and not good. To be honest, even if you have an amazing cover and you have like a really well edited book and you're professionally published, it's still very, very difficult to sell books because I feel like the market's been saturated by low quality writers. For me, looking at Amazon is like it's a bit of a wake up call, because I put my book on Amazon and it had hundreds of like typos in, because I wrote most of it. If I'm being honest, I wrote most of it while I was drunk. So I did like 300 pages. So there's, hundreds of typos and, convoluted storylines. I didn't get it edited properly. Now, that passed Amazon's like rigorous demands, where they say they have a strict policy, but they only allow quality books through, which is clearly not true. But like I said, it's not just indie authors who suffer. Jenny Lynn Bader, a very successful writer, journalist, who I profiled several months ago, wrote an interesting piece in the New York Times way back in 1999, where she identifies the end of writing in the digital age. The unspoken threat of the digital era is that it will chip away at the individual author's voice and intent. The content will become more and more automated and mass-produced. The heroes of the digital era will be those who restore individual voices. Now, I'm going to put the link to this article below this video. I recommend that you read it. It's really interesting. How writing is suffering just from the lowest level to the highest level, even in Hollywood, where they automate scripts and they've got like a McDonald's sort of layout when it comes to writing. They'll put people in small groups, so the writers don't really have any power or influence, And even in there, you can see that they don't even call people writers anymore. Now, it could sound depressing that I'm saying all these things, but if you don't believe what I'm saying, that's fine, Just you don't have to watch, or you can give me a thumbs down in the video. But this is what I believe to be the truth. I'm not bitter. I know why my books didn't sell lots, and I don't care. I'm just interested in the process of making these videos and talking about writing and wondering why people fail or succeed, and the failure rates are much higher than the success rates. And it's not always because the people who are successful are better writers. Obviously, you've got some terrible books, 50 Shades of Grey is awful. I don't care what anyone says. It's an awful book, yeah. But it had a good marketing strategy behind it and sold millions of copies around the world. So I just would like some kind of forum to discuss this. And if anyone's interested, they can DM me on Twitter. I'll put the link below. And maybe we can make some videos and get some ideas of how good writers can rise to the top. Yeah, I don't know the answers. I just know that what lots of people do doesn't work, and it looks silly, and sometimes they're nice people and intelligent people, and it's difficult to tell them, you know, but it's tough love. And for me, the Amazon platform is just a bit of a joke, to be honest. It's like, you know, there's a man, if you can look him up, a man who got to #1 on Amazon with a picture of his foot. You know, there was no sort of analysis of whether it was quality material. He made a video about it. He got to #1 with a picture of his foot, of his foot, put it on the front cover, and named the book, I think he named it Picture of My Foot, and he got to #1. And I see people online, you know, they get to #1 and people are patting them on the back, and if they legitimately sold thousands of copies and got to #1, fine, that's good. You know, I'm not trying to knock those people, and I'm not jealous. I don't, you know, I'm interested to know how they did it, and maybe to actually legitimately help other people. In the next video, I'm going to talk about some ideas that might work, just by abandoning that Amazon platform, because I think the Amazon platform was generated so people say they've written a book, and then 50 of their family members and friends buy it and write a review, and they bump in sales for a week or two, and then after that they don't sell any books. But Amazon is a print to order platform, so there's no real investment on their behalf, and they sell, you know, lots and lots of books this way. It's a really clever thing to do, but the writers don't see much of the profit. So you've got Amazon making lots and lots of money, and the writers making pennies.